guys, hi. Hi. Wait, I should have gotten a water bottle before sitting down. Oh my gosh. That looks weird. But I was gonna put this like moisturizer on my face and like I didn't want it to get in the way. Whatever. Smells good. Smell it. Okay, wait. Let's do this. It looks like a sunscreen. I've used it before though. Hopefully I rub it in all the way. And yes, don't worry, Aphrodite did not forget all the many different faces I could have. I swear, every time I see myself, I don't look the same. So that part, of course, I also believe in, because you know how she's talked about having so many different like appearances that like every time you see her she pretty much looks different, or it like changes every few minutes or a few seconds or whatever, but they're all beautiful, that sort of thing. I just work on loving and accepting all the different versions of myself and how I look, and it's not bad to like not always look the same, and it doesn't mean something specific, you know. We don't get to know all of what it means because every cell of your body would mean something, and you would never be able to memorize that. We have to work on our memories first and our emotional capacity for it being good and bad, because it's not every cell of everybody's body is going to be a compliment to them. Some of it will. We would be like, oh no, I didn't want to know that about myself. Like would have to be able to like erase our own memories or cope with it, which is way better than not remembering, because you want to remember the way you felt about certain things and like why did that affect you. How do you know if you overcame that if you can't even remember it, right? Depending on what it is. If you can survive remembering it, then it's better to remember it, because then you can know how far along you are with working on yourself. Hair just looks natural. I can imagine things that would be better about it, but guess what? If I changed anything about my hair, it would just look unnatural. Like things just not being natural on me just look not natural. And then I feel like that looks worse. I don't know. Like I love how there's different hair colors and textures and things, but then everybody has to know what they feel like looks good on themselves. You have to be able to separate yourself from other people, because I love like, you know, rainbow hair, colorful hair. Well, there's so much like collective imagination, right? And like, where is it going? Like, are people, I don't know. I think you can have a certain hair color that's like so cool and interesting, but then whatever you feel like you learn about yourself, if you change your hair back to the color it already was, you feel like you lose everything that you grew about yourself, and then you're like, was it ever real? You know, because you become someone else. But I think everybody should just have fun and loosen up, and I don't think it's like weird or bad to have rainbow hair. Like I love that, you know what I mean? I feel like it looks beautiful, but I think for some people they can almost get stuck in this situation where like they become like a characterized version of themselves, but then for them personally, they like can't elevate in their career because they're so branded in like a weird way. And like they make themselves unique, but then other people can't separate themselves from that person who has the same color hair. So like, I don't know. Like if you had blue hair, for example, you could totally get lost as just an extension of the nearest famous person who has blue hair. And then you're like, oh no, which one am I? Like, what if I can't elevate in my career? Either because somebody else is already doing it, you're mistaken for them, your entire identity must be the same thing as them, or your personality traits must be the same thing as them, right? Like it becomes like there's variety, but it's possible to feel like, and I feel that all the time, but I also focus on not dwelling on that or not interpreting my looks in a negative way, you know what I mean, or in a weird way, like because everybody is receiving like subliminals mentally of like, oh, this person who acts this way or looks this way or has this interest has this trait as well, or like they don't have this, they have this, they don't have that. Like everybody is like absorbing so much, which is why a healthy self-concept comes from more than what you look like, because you can still be the most beautiful person in the world and you can still not be able to separate yourself either from people who look just like you or people who have similar traits as you in a way, right? Yeah, so I think having multiple multiple faces, so funny, oh my god, I mean like multiple versions of what you look like. If you always look different, you always have something interesting to see about yourself, you always have like, which you want to always feel good about yourself. You can find something to like about yourself if you give yourself permission. That's so big too. You have to be able to give yourself permission to like, okay, you look like you naturally. Can you give yourself permission to like that? You can give yourself permission to love that, you know, in so many ways. You don't lose the opportunity just because either somebody's mastered that and you haven't, or somebody else hasn't and you have, or whatever. Like we absorb other people's energy, we're walking around, there's constant subliminals. Yeah. But there's also, the world does have stereotypes, but like in marketing in certain industries, you don't know if somebody else will want to brand you, you know, do they want to go like with it or do they want to go against the grain? And you're like, well, you have your own choices you make, but like you can kind of see in different people's personal brands, sometimes they are the stereotype and sometimes that pushes them super far along, and sometimes they just lose their identity and then nobody knows who they are or why they would be different from the people who look like them. But then certain branding just like gets handed to somebody who looks like you after you created it or whatever, and then you're like, well, I thought I created that. Well, I guess you didn't, I don't know. So there's all kinds of stuff. I don't know what I do as far as that, like I don't know what I do, because I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm so plain and boring, sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much. Sometimes I feel like I can like balance those and just like, I don't know. But when you lean into like what you love, I think that's where I stay the most. It's not about, oh, this is definitely a stereotype or whatever. It's like, okay, these lyrics mean this. They're like a spell sort of manifesting this or creating this or causing this, and then that's what happens. So, yeah. You also can't care too much about, well, does that mean you're creating a new stereotype, whatever. Like if you stay so far outside of what exists to like the world, you may seem like you're just creating you may seem like you're just creating a new stereotype. Make it a good one, I guess. Or make it the one you didn't have a choice but to make it. That happens a lot too. Yeah, I think as far as career and stuff, I just stay where the nearest passion that I gravitate to the strongest is, in a way that's the most achievable, and then that's what I just do. So if I'm creating an album but it has XYZ number of songs, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to get burned out halfway through, or am I going to allow the album am I going to allow the album to sort of change as I work on it? So yeah, I let the album become itself. I think they have their own consciousness and they know who they want to be so much, and I'm just the one creating it. So I'm not trying to get lost and not branded as well, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, it's like, okay, the album knows what it wants to be. So as the person creating it, you either have like a responsibility to let it become what it wants to be or cause it to be what it wants to be, or you start getting inspired and like, I don't know, so captivated by whatever the album wants to become that you create it the way that it wants to be. I don't know. You just start, I don't know. I think it depends on like maybe someone's like chakras in a way, because I mean duh, but like I don't know, all the time I think I do have a good like third eye for seeing either what's popular or like what hasn't started being popular but it's like about to. So if I like become obsessed with something, it's either definitely popular or like it's going to be more popular or something, I don't know. Not the only reason I care about things, I have morals and care about so much, but like sometimes I'll be like so captivated by something and it's because it's like up and coming, and so I'm trying to like, you know, I don't know, be able to see that in my own project. How can I edit this or create it in a way that like has potential? Not like not like, oh, it's definitely not going anywhere. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm also like, I don't know, in a phase where I'm so obsessed with like heavily branded things. Like just Halloween's amazing, Christmas is amazing. Like why? Well, like aren't pumpkins great? Or like Christmas trees like so good. Like it's like those are like the most like stereotyped like holiday things, or like branded holiday things. And like, isn't Valentine's Day cool? Why the color red is like so good? Like like why would the color red not be good? Like that's like the most basic, like Valentine's Day is good because the color red is good. It's like, don't you care about anything else? Like oh. I don't know. I find time and Time Lords just universally interesting always. Not just like, oh, Doctor Who, like that's cool, but I mean like the concept of like, you know, recorded time has to happen in an order, even if it's the future and like it's forced to be something specific, and like right now this has to be super popular because why? Because it's actually going to cause so many different like butterfly effect things happening across the planet, and like, you know, I don't know. Sometimes I see that as like super one-dimensional though, because I'm like, yeah, but like so what? Like the Time Lords wanted Valentine's Day to be associated with the color red so everybody could wear a red t-shirt, but like that doesn't mean anything. So then I'm still like, it doesn't I'm still like, but it doesn't mean anything. But what if you could use it in a way that it does mean something? What if you can like cause the meaning to exist in something that you already care about, right? I like that. What if you can add meaning to something that other people are going to care about? Like, give them meaning. Like, oh, here's like a gift for you. Like, so much meaning to this thing you never thought about in this way. Like, I don't know. Sometimes heavily branded things can definitely get me through creating an album at the difficult parts, right? Because there's so much more energy in a way. Like, everybody knows what Halloween is. You don't have to feel like, if you were on your 10th song in a row where you're like, am I leaving the audience behind? Do they still understand? If you say something about like Halloween, they're gonna understand. They might be like, oh, that's like the most like cliche like song ever, like, but they understand. They're not gonna feel so left behind by the other songs because they have that break in between, right? Then the next 10 songs you can do whatever you want. It could be dry and boring and weird, whatever. They're not gonna be, then you're gonna do like a Christmas song or something, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't feel left behind anymore, I think I know how we got here. So you can't leave the audience behind too much. You do, but you can't like forget to talk about what you're actually drawn to. Or if it's a spell, those ones can be hard to do. Well, actually they're technically all spells, they're just for something different. But if it's really, really like every word of this is like for this exact purpose, well, I'll tell you in a second, they're all spells, but okay, they're all spells because first of all, I practice magic, but also because that's what the mind can tend to automatically try to do. Even if somebody doesn't practice magic, their mind's going to try to grasp the nearest concept around them that feels like it might be a spell, or like it's supposed to have meaning, or like it causes something. They're just going to start doing something weird if they don't practice magic, though, eventually, or they're going to try to form some form of like god, or it's going to be like a love spell or something, or I mean a love song. Same thing. Kind of the same thing. If you just turn on any song, they're just all kind of love spells. So, but even like dancing is a spell, like they're doing something, you know? But, or like your clothing choice is a spell. It doesn't have to, it can be the most understated outfit in the world. You put something on your body, it's on your chakras, it's on your soul, like it's like you're like doing something, you know what I mean? Like it represents everything that like means something, represents something. Like even if it's the most understated, like you intuitively chose that for a reason. Even if it's that you don't have other clothes, well, part of your spell is the restriction of what you're not allowed to have. And those can go so far because when you have everything in the world, you look around like you have responsibility to use those resources to take yourself somewhere. When you're not allowed to use a resource, you don't have that responsibility. You're forced to be exactly where you're meant to be. That just kind of means you had a lack of resources at some point if you feel like you're meant to be somewhere, because you're like, well, why did I incarnate here? Like, it must have some kind of meaning, right? Because you're so removed from feeling like there's meaning. So you're like, oh my god, like, if you're writing like a 10,000 word paper or something and you're forced to do it, but you're not getting anything out of it, eventually you're gonna be like, well, this must mean something. There must be a reason why I'm forced to do this. Like, am I still important? Well, am I where I'm supposed to be? The more you ask yourself, am I where I'm supposed to be? You want to then reinforce it like, yes, I am where I'm meant to be. And then you're kind of like, oh, well, if I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, it can't possibly be for not having what I currently don't have. It must be for a reason. So you start to like either go insane or you just acquire more resources and then you were just where you were meant to be the whole time. But if you're like a billionaire, first of all, you're doing something wrong if you're not where you want to be if you're a billionaire, unless you can really explain why. Because you could have taken any class, You could have dedicated any amount of time. You could have learned anything. You could have practiced anything. You could have hired anybody. You could have had somebody do the work, put your name on it, and say it was you. Like, you could have, like, you could have advertised anything infinitely. If you have, like, a lot of money and you're not where you want to be, you're doing something so wrong. So wrong, right? Unless you can explain, like, my arm was chopped off yesterday, I don't know how this is gonna work, like, revolutionizing the whole planet if I do it, you know? Then maybe you get, like, a pass of, like, okay, you were maybe trying at some point, but, like, but at that point, if you were born a billionaire, but you're, like, missing an arm, you could still learn any talent, you could still almost, right? You could still, like, have help with a lot of stuff. You can still learn to write with the other hand if it's, I don't know if it's writing, but, like, you know, you could still do running, I don't know. The legs work, I don't know. You can find your thing. If you already have $1 billion, you don't really need investors. Like, that's the money people were trying to get the investors for. Like, you might have them, but, like, just so you're not spending your own money, like, very low risk. Then you have to wonder, is your soul really in it if the risk is too low? Because you'll feel like, what if my soul isn't in it and the money was handed to me? Like, oh no, right? So those, I don't know. I think they still find something special, but I don't know. But if somebody has, like, enough money that they can blame themselves for it, but they're not, like, a billionaire, they can feel almost like wasted time is, like, their responsibility, like, running away from them, you know? Or if your chakras are, like, disrupted enough that, like, essentially, if you didn't die, but you could have died and then gone somewhere where you were born a millionaire or something, or, like, a billionaire, right? But you didn't die, so you didn't reincarnate, but your chakras are on a level where you could have had that happen. You can become so like disrupted. You could become so disrupted where you still blame yourself for not having the resources that you simply didn't have, but you blame yourself as if you had them. And that's why you can get so messed up and, like, I don't know. So people have to, like, be able to undo that if it happens to them, that, like, they feel that way. Oh yeah, so some ways my songs are all spells. Well, I'll tell you when I really believe in Djinn and when I really believe in ghosts. Okay, if I'm writing a song, this might scare you, because a lot of people might be like, well, what is that? Like, nothing could prove that, whatever. Okay, if I'm writing a song and I don't know what to put next, if I'm writing a song and I don't know what to put next, now, I'm not, like, I guess I'm never in a situation where there's not a Djinn that I could have access to, which is gonna sound so weird, I don't know. I'm not, like, oh no, I couldn't find one, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, they're around, they're just wherever, right? Well, also I'm, like, telepathic, so if I'm songwriting, that's not actually that spontaneous because I planned it, and so it's like planned event, I'm writing a song, you know what I mean? Or there were just spirits around me, they gave me an idea and I wrote it down, like, that idea is too good to waste, so I write it down. I go to certain physical locations to write a song, so it's, like, super planned. Okay. So I will definitely like exchange some form of essence with the Djinn, but through the method of songwriting. So I'll be like, say I'm like writing, okay, I don't know, I don't have paper, but like say I'm writing, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to put next, and then in my brain, because I'm telepathic, I'll kind of like intentionally say it to a spirit around me. I'm like, if you can tell me a really good lyric to put in the next part, like you'll be in the final copy of the song. And so it's sort of an exchange, because some people go back and edit and like change stuff and mess stuff up, whatever. I'm like, well, if you can tell me something so good that I'm not gonna have to edit it, then you'll be in the final version of the song, and then it might be for sale someday. So like you might want to see where it goes, if that's possible for it to be for sale someday. So I know people would be like, I don't believe that, but within like 3 seconds usually, amazing lyric. Impossible lyric, okay? Within like 3 seconds of me saying that, amazing impossible lyric, okay? No editing necessary, just perfect. Sometimes I'll be offered a lyric and I'll say, oh, I can't say that word, I cannot say this part. They're kind of like, why? But then they're like, okay, say this word instead. And so I do that. I do this so often. It's not rare. It's not once in a while. This is like, I don't know how many lyrics are in a lot of my songs, but I've had songs entirely written by spirits just through me. Hundreds of songs. Hundreds and hundreds of, like, I don't know. I have 1,600 songs out now. You could probably say 400 or 500 of them were, yeah, like 400 or 500 of them at least are just like entirely written by a spirit with my help, but like mostly a spirit, but like I'm also the one writing it, so I can like edit it. I could be like, oh, I can't say that part, like that part's really weird, like what do you want me to do instead for this part? Or like again, the trade-off is I'm like, well, you know, if you could help me enough that this can someday be for sale, then, you know, I don't know what you get out of that, but if you do get something out of that, then feel free to get something out of that. And then it usually works out. They probably just get out of it whatever I get out of it. I don't know. But yeah, so, well, it's not like not written by me, it's written by me, I just don't know which parts, which seems kind of weird. Some people will be like, what do you mean you don't know which parts? Well, sometimes a really good idea just enters your brain and you know it's like uncopyrighted, like doesn't exist yet. So you write it down and you use it. And then you don't know, you're like, okay, so this might have been completely from me or from a spirit, and like that's fine too. You have to really want the job, and you have to really want to get paid from it someday, and you have to really want for your talent to keep improving and getting better. But it also leaves an impression on you. You start to know what words work well together, what concepts are really good, what sells well. And so then you don't need a spirit to channel through you to write, because they tell you these are the kinds of things that work well, these are the kinds of things that don't work well, and then you become so good at it that you just don't need the help anymore. But it is a spell to begin with, because you're still doing it for something. There's a lot of like rationalizing, like, if I use this word, what's the impact it causes? Like, are people gonna remember this part? Like, every word gets like analyzed so you don't accidentally do something crazy. But it's a spell when you're thinking that much about it. And you do it as a spell too, but yeah. So, where did my chopstick go? Over here. But yeah, so I do believe in, you know, the spirits walking around, the unseen realm. And again, people would be like, why? But it's so extreme when you absolutely have zero ideas. You ask for an idea, and within 3 seconds or less, you have the perfect idea that you didn't even know you were looking for. Or you can say in your brain, like, to the spirit, you're like, oh wait, this one word has to be so different. What should it be? And then they just tell you. Like, it's not just you and your own brain, you know? You're like, I need help me right now. They're like, don't worry, I'm here. And you're like, wait, it worked. It worked. So yeah, I've never had a day where, well, maybe like 1 or 2 days ever or something, but there's never like lifetime. There's always a spirit next to me who can help with songwriting like any moment, or they're just giving me ideas. They're like, wait, do this. And I'm like on it right now because that was such a good idea. But you have to know, they don't know. They know if it's the kind of idea you want. They don't know if it's a good idea or a really stupid idea. You can't let just any spirit help you. You cannot let just any spirit help you. You cannot let just any spirit help you. They'll give you terrible ideas. You have to be able to not do that word. Or be like, so this part didn't work out. What are we trading it for? Like, that makes it sound like I don't write the songs. I do. I just have been trained by spirits and got some help along the way with that. So also it's funny, when you, I don't know about other people, I have the type of brain where, like, you know how AI kind of uses, if they're writing a song, if you use it, there will be certain patterns. Like, I can just memorize the pattern of what AI writes as, and then I can just do it myself. So if AI went away in the future, I would still know how to write mimicking AI if I wanted to, because I just memorized the pattern of what AI writes like. Not just, oh, they use specific words, but like, I know why they're using a certain word. So AI loves to say like, oh, something blinked or whatever, but like, what they wanted was something unexpected, but a certain kind of unexpected. So, because I know what the energy is, like, I know what I could, like, I know how often they would want to use it in the template or the pattern, and then how often they would make like a different change to like surprise the reader or listener or whatever, right? AI wants to have everything like deconstructed. They want to do like maximalistic but minimalistic. They don't know. They're figuring out some personality stuff. They want their reader to be on their toes so much that it almost doesn't mean anything. But it's so fun, and you get to take a break. Your real brain gets to take a break, and you still get to choose parts of your self-expression, which is really fun. To just be able to like take it easy, chill out, like, especially if you're always in your brain, like every career move has to be perfect, and you know how to do that, but you get burned out. Well, you can still sort of keep going until your passion ends, because the mind ends before the passion does. The mind gets burned out before your passion for something gets burned out, and so you can still have so much love and excitement for what you're doing and know exactly what you want to do when your mind is like, I cannot do it right now. Like, even like, not like if I wanted to keep going even though I'm burnt out, like, absolutely can't, right? So that is like a thing. But it doesn't mean you're not excited to work on something in that moment. You just have to make the sacrifice, essentially. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's weird, but I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else to say for the video. That might be it. When I think of something else, I'll just make another video. I love you guys. Goodbye.